Diddly-ho, nibberino! How are you? Ooh, the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day, and I'm just gonna let it beat on this side of my face, but I can't sit this way, it's blinding. So I'm gonna sit over here. Oh my god. So many 5-star reads this month. I'm gonna tell you about them, I'm sorry. I'm gonna convince you to read them all. So this was the first month that I did a TBR pop challenge where I'd pull out prompts and then that would decide what I read for the month. It didn't go quite as planned. However, I did read most of them. Okay, so I think it was 7 books that I picked, and out of those 7 I read 5 at the start of the month, and these are the 2 that I did not read this month, and is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, Paddy Clark by Roddy Doyle. Didn't read these 2 just because I wasn't in the mood to read them. I am a massive mood reader and I didn't want to go into another slump, but we did quite alright with what we chose on the TBR. Oh god, where do we begin? So I'm gonna start with like the lowest rated books that I read and like work our way up to my absolute one that is obsessing me that I can't stop thinking about, and that'll be at the end. Oh my god. Okay, so some of these books I'm not gonna go too much into simply because I did a 24-hour reading challenge the other week, so I'll link that up. It is on my channel, and I discuss them a lot more as I'm giving like blow-by-blow reactions, so you might recognize this one. It is Do Travelers Go to Hell by Thomas Cornstam, and yes, I didn't like this book. I gave it 2 stars. It is by Thomas, who is like a little bit of a mini memoir. He's working on Wall Street and he gets the opportunity to go to Brazil to write for Lonely Planet for their Brazil guide, and it is so vulgar. All he does, like, he's getting paid by Lonely Planet to do this, yet all he does is take an excessive amount of drugs, drinks so much alcohol, sleeps with so many women when he's meant to be there working. I just didn't like it. It's just like, I don't think we'd get along, Thomas and I. He's like the backpacker from hell, almost. So yeah, 2 stars, really didn't enjoy it, and you can go and check out my 24-hour reading vlog for more detail on that. Coming in next at 3 stars is The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. This is another one that I did in the 24-hour reading vlog, so just to summarise, we follow Frank in this, and it's very disturbed. His brother Eric just escaped from a psychiatric hospital, and it's clearly delving, it's like a gothic novel where it delves into the mind of someone who's suffering from severe mental illness, and I really enjoyed it to begin with. You know, it's very bizarre, it's very macabre, you know, it was everything I wanted in like a gothic novel, really gritty stuff, and I couldn't decide, is this all a delusion? How much of it is a delusion? Is he a psychopath? Does he have some sort of schizoaffective disorder? Like, what is going on? And the ending was so bizarre. It didn't make any sense. I was left literally just, what the fuck? Which you'll see in the 24-hour reading vlog. But I had to put it in the middle of the road. I really didn't know what to say about it. Moving on. A bit disappointed about this one because not only did I buy the first book, I brought the entire trilogy because the first book sounded so good. And I was like, oh, but if I love the first book, I'm going to have to buy the second, and then I'm going to have to buy the third. And I found a good deal on the whole trilogy. And I will probably read through. However, it is Scythed by Neil Shusterman, and I gave it 3 stars. The premise basically is that it's like set in a utopia, which I've never actually read, or is it utopian? Where basically humans have evolved so much that there is no famine, there is no war, there is no misery, there is no death, there is no illness, nothing. It's all been eradicated. We know everything there is to ever know about the universe, and you can reset your time. So when you get to like 80, you can reset your body back so you look like 20 again. And you just keep on going. However, for population control, what they have are people called Scythes. In this, we follow Citra and Rowan, who are 2 young apprentice Scythes. They don't want to be Scythes. They are the people in society that glean you. They come and kill you. Basically kill off people for population control, which kind of makes them perfect for it in the end, because you shouldn't want to become a Scythe. If you want to become a Scythe and kill people as a living, then that's probably not a good idea, and it's probably not the path you should go on. I loved the premise of that, a utopian world where no one can die and you have to be trained to be basically an assassin, a Scythe, to go around killing people, and you decide who has to die. Really interesting, and there was a lot I did enjoy about the book, but following the 2 apprentices, I literally couldn't care less about them. I've never read a book where I don't care about the main characters, yet the side characters like Faraday and is it Curry? Oh my god, fascinating. I wish the book had been about them. I wish they'd get their own books. They were really interested and I was really enjoying their scenes. But the main characters were, I didn't care about them one bit at all. But it's still interesting, so I gave it 3 stars, kind of a 3.5 almost, because it is tempting me to read. I've got the other 2 books now in the trilogy, I might as well read them, and there is just enough interest in the storyline for me to continue to see if it gets any better. So let me know what you thought about this one. So many people rave about it, and I really wish I could have given it a higher rating, but I just couldn't. It was really good in places, but then I felt it really fell flat. Next is one I don't have physically. I have it on my Kindle and I listened to the audiobook at the same time, and it's another 24-hour one, the last one. I gave it 4 stars, and that is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is like a really well-known popular story, especially in pop culture, where you've got Dr. Jekyll, you've got Mr. Hyde, you've got a lawyer investigating what's going on, and I think everyone kind of knows that it's like 2 of the same person, and it's a really fantastic book. It's very, very short. It is a classic. It's very well written. There's a bit of humour in which I did enjoy, and I gave it 4 stars. I absolutely loved how they really delved into the pull of human nature at the end, and how it was like a tug of war almost between Jekyll and Hyde, and that was really interesting. I kind of wanted more. I could have let that book go on. I could have read 400 pages of that. It was really good. Really, really enjoyed it and would recommend.
What's next?
We're all going up from here. So the next one is The Institute by Stephen King. I gave this 4 stars. So we are following our main protagonist, which is Luke, and basically The Institute is all about these kids who are being kidnapped, their parents murdered, and they are taken to a facility where they are basically being experimented upon because they have certain magical abilities, either telepathy or telekinesis, so they can move things or read people's minds. And all these children are kept in this institute and are tested on and things like that. So you're trying to find like the truth, and you also meet another character, and for the life of me cannot remember his name. Excuse me, 1 minute, it's right at the beginning. Tim. And it's really interesting. I really love the characters. I adore Stephen King's writing. The second half of this book is so action-packed. I just couldn't put it down. I was like shaking at one point, like trying to move the pages as quick as I could. However, I did feel it fell flat at the end. However, I did really enjoy, he's got some smart characters in here, especially with the children. I loved how he wrote the children so different from each other, yet really complex. I did like Luke a lot in this, and also, what's his name, Avery? Avery was cool as well. I liked where it was going a lot, lots of action, lots of like, what is going on, what the hell, you like the whole time you're like, you've got to tell me what the hell is going on. But then the ending, ooh, didn't like the ending. However, if you like King, it's not so bad of an ending that it's like, don't even bother reading it. It's just not my cup of tea, the ending. So yeah, 4 stars, would recommend. It's just a great King novel. It's brilliant. Next one I'm going to bring up is a memoir called Knee Deep in Life by Laura Belvin. You might follow her at Knee Deep in Life on Instagram. That's how I know her from, because my best friend recommended it to me, and then I found out she had a book and I had to support her no matter what. And it's basically her. No, if you follow Laura on Instagram, you kind of know what you're going to get. If you don't like foul language, don't even consider picking this book up. If you don't like vulgar language, no. Leave it on the shelf, love. Let someone else read it. You will not enjoy this book. She pulls no fucking punches and talks about what motherhood for her has truly been like. And I'm definitely not the target audience for this. There's a lot I could not take from this, could not relate to on any level. But Laura is fantastic. When she was opening up about her postnatal depression, it really like hit me in the feels, and I gave it 5 stars because one, I struggle really, except for that book by Do Travelers Go to Hell. I struggle to rate memoirs because I do feel like, who am I to rate someone else's life experience? Except for that book, my God. I gave her 5 stars because she deserves them, how unapologetically honest and open she is about motherhood and her true struggles, like holding no punches, not censoring herself on one single sentence, as you can imagine if you know her already. So yeah, I mean, if you are a parent, 10 out of 10, recommend. You'll probably take a lot from it and have a good laugh. And whilst it wasn't really aimed at me, I did enjoy it. It was a very quick read, and well done, Laura. Congratulations. You opened up your heart and soul for us and really made yourself vulnerable, and I can always appreciate that. So girl, you deserve all the stars, all the stars. Okay, back to it. Sorry, camera was overheating. It gets very warm in this conservatory. All right, next one is The Golems Eye by Jonathan Stride. This is the second book in the Bartimaeus trilogy, and yes, it's 5 stars, just like the first book. I just bloody love this trilogy, and I have the third one now, and I thought that'd be it, but no, there's a bloody prequel. I'm very happy about all of this. So this is the second one in the book. So we still follow Nathaniel and we follow Bartimaeus, who's a wisecracking genie, who's hilarious. The footnotes in his chapters, as soon as I got this, I was like, please say there's more footnotes. There is, don't worry. But this time around, their adventure really delves into, now that Nathaniel's working for Parliament, there's chapters for Nathaniel, for Bartimaeus, and now for Kitty, who is a member of the resistance. And havoc is being sprayed around London, and it is Nathaniel's job to find out whether the resistance is responsible for all of this chaos and havoc. The magicians believe it is, but he's a bit like, I don't think it is, you know. Bartimaeus is like, I don't care, stop summoning me here. I would rather be anywhere else but helping you, Nathaniel. So yeah, of course it's all about magicians. Sorry, I presume it's hard to do a second one. You gotta presume you've read the first one, but the second one is really good, and we follow more about the resistance, learn all about them. Fascinating, loved Kitty. Like, at first I was like, I want Bartimaeus, I don't want Kitty, and then I'm like, I need more Kitty, I need to find out what's going on. So I'm really looking forward to the next one. We meet some incredible characters, some incredible monsters, like spirits, oh, it goes off, lots of adventure, action-packed, really enjoyed it, 5 stars. Next, oh my god, okay, 3 left, and this is where it gets really fucking good. Read The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It's so bloody good. It's so good. So in The Midnight Library, we follow a woman called Nora, and she gets trapped pretty much between life and death and ends up at the Midnight Library. Now, at this library, she's able to pull any book out and live a different version of her life. So if she'd have done something different, she has like all of these regrets. If she'd have done one thing different, how would her life have planned out? She actually gets to live it, and she's literally just like dumped in. When she picks a new life, she gets dumped into it as that new her. And she kind of has to roll with the punches. And I thought, oh, it's like a stranger in your own life kind of thing, because she is who she is, but she has no idea who these people are, where they are, what they're doing, because this is the life she now has if she'd have made one little change. She's very smart. It was very well written. I feel, and she keeps jumping through all these lives to see what her life would have been like if she'd have said yes, or if she'd have said no, or if she'd have gone there, or if she'd have met them when she didn't want to meet. Like, all of these different scenarios she gets to live through, and you kind of know where it's going to end up. You kind of understand the message really quickly, what this book is trying to tell you, but it doesn't take away at all. Fantastic. It's not a long read at all, and I would 100% just recommend this to anyone. It's so good, and I love just thinking about the butterfly effect and how that has such an impact on where your life can go. Every single second you're making a different, unconscious sometimes, decision that is changing the course of your entire life. It's so good. The premise is amazing. It's an amazing book, really well written. It's an out of 10. I mean, well, 5 stars. The last two. God, I hope this lighting isn't as bad when I edit this. And that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I wanted to read this for the longest, and then I found it was on bloody Scribd. It's on Scribd. So I actually listened to it first, and it's very rare, but if I love a book, like I adore a book, I will treat myself, and if it's in hardback, even better, to a lovely copy of it, because I know I'll want to reread it and sit down with it. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. I know so many of you have asked about this book. We follow a girl called Addie. She is not very happy with her life and decides to call upon the gods that answer after dark. Basically sells her soul to the devil. Devil be as devil do. He kind of tricks her. She asks for more time. So he's like, not a problem, Addie. I got you, girl. I'm gonna give you immortality, but in return, absolutely no one is going to ever remember you. As in, you're talking to someone, they walk out a door, they come back in, they don't know who you are. So you're following her 300 years of existence as an immortal, and her dialogue, oh, with the devil, it's just so good. So yeah, no one remembers her. It's literally the loneliest existence. Now, I do have criticisms, and I'll get to them at the end, but it's like it's the loneliest existence, obviously, because no one can remember her. She can't have a relationship, she can't buy a house, nothing, because everyone will forget her immediately. Until one day, this is all in the back, I'm not spoiling anything, it's the biggest sell point of the book. She walks into a bookshop, and someone remembers her. Dun dun dun. Very predictable. I did kind of call a lot of it out that was going to happen, and it did happen, but I wasn't mad at it because of how it happened. This is probably the first time. Have you ever had a book that you adore, you want to read it again and again and again and again, but when you go onto reviews and look at the criticism, you can also agree with a lot of the criticism. Like, yes, Addie could have been a bit more interesting and messed up in the head from living 300 years with no one remembering her. Yes, I think she would have been a lot more messed up and deep and complex than she is in this book. There's a lot of things people mention, and some loopholes as well with this curse that she has upon herself for 300 years that I agree with. But it's a weird one because, like, no, it's still 5 stars. It's still, like, one of my favourite books. Yes, I love this book. I adore this book. but I can also agree with criticism. It's a weird one. It's like, oh no, totally. Yeah, I agree with all of that, but it's still like the best book ever, so shut up. Yeah, you basically follow her and the devil just keeps like coming back like, you done with your soul yet? Because basically she was like, look, I'll give you my soul back when I'm ready. And the devil's like, it ain't gonna take long because I'm gonna put on you. 300 years later, and he's like, shit, you stubborn. Really good. Love the dialogue with Luke the devil. And yes, would 100% recommend. It's so good. Oh my god, I don't know if I have the energy to talk about this last book because it has consumed my life. It is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. You're making me wait till October for the sequel. I've never pre-ordered a sequel so quickly after putting a book down. Like put it down and immediately pre-ordered. And it's not coming out till October. Okay, so there'll be no spoilers, don't worry. But we're following Amelia, and she is a witch. And it's set in Sicily. There's a lot of Italian food going on, so it's going to make you very hungry, this book. She's a witch, and her twin sister Vittoria is murdered. Amelia then decides to summon a prince of hell, we will end up knowing as Wrath, to help her solve her sister's murder. And it's very good. I really like Wrath, which is a very unpopular opinion within people who have read this. Not at all. Oh my god, can I have a Wrath? Where do I find a Wrath for my, like, look, I love Muscat, I love him, but where is Wrath? Can I find one? I love the character development of Amelia, having to go through something like that, of your sister being brutally murdered. So much action, and it's kind of chaotic. You don't know what she's gonna do next, Amelia. Her personality is changing, she's morphing, and I love it. And oh my god, if you like an enemies to lover trope, but really well done, and if you just want to fall in love with the Prince of Hell, I would really highly recommend you pick this book up. And now, I don't know if I sold that. I knew I wouldn't be able to explain this book well. I don't know if I sold it. I have to wait till October for the second one because the ending? Kerry did you dirty. You did us dirty with the ending, didn't you, Kerry? Oh my, you can't end a book like that. I am so unsatisfied, and I want to cry. She kind of broke my heart, not gonna lie, but I know it's okay. I have theories about Wrath, but it's beautiful. The book is absolutely stunning, and at the start you get a map of hell, the 7 circles of hell at the front, and it's gorgeous. So it's about hell, it's about princes of hell, demons, witches, witchcraft, adventure, fighting, love. Oh, not love, it's something. There's a lot going on in this book. And I am following Kerry now on Instagram, and she keeps dropping lines from the new book. And every time she does, I literally want to scream. I'm in that comment and everyone is like, stop, we can't. I've never felt like I can't stop thinking about this book. Correction, I can't stop thinking about Wrath. I need that second book. I need to know what happens. I have theories though. I have so many theories of what is going to happen in the second book. Because I keep going back, I keep skimming. I'm not gonna lie, I keep going to Wrath's sections a lot. Only for research, for science. And there's not one near the end that I've read like 10, not one at all. Not one, no. Me? Couldn't be me. Not me. Never did it. Never read that 10 times. And I have theories. I'm not going to say them though. I can't say them because if you haven't read it, just come bloody read it, okay? Let me know what you think. I'm going to stop now. I need to stop. So those are the 10 books that I read in the month of February 2021. And this is a really long video, so I apologise. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna leave you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these, which ones were your favourite, and have I sold you on any. And I'm gonna go and enjoy the sun now, and then I'll get this edited. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Alright, loving, leaving, shutting up, like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.